Welcome to segment 3 and our final segment of this week's NFL show. As if you've watched the last 2 segments, you've seen about 2/3 of our picks. No, Matt Shaw, not pick sixes, picks. But anyway, to the late games. Oakland against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Like we mentioned in the second segment, Pittsburgh right now on a 2-game winning streak as they are finally picking up what Pittsburgh football is all about now. Now at 2-4, and Ben Roethlisberger is now doing some great stuff for this offense, and the defense is finally coming alive. And they head to Oakland this week, where you have Terrell Pryor as your starting quarterback, who's also, I think, that's done a pretty good job for that team this year, carry-wise. And you also have McFadden on that team as well, and a pretty decent defense as well. Now, in this game, I actually consider this one to be a close one, possibly. Just because Oakland's at home. I'm going to give Oakland the advantage in this one with the upset here, 20-14 over Pittsburgh.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am shocked by that pick. Probably the most shocked I've been by any of Cole's picks. Because the last 2 weeks, if you've watched, I have ranted about Dick LeBeau and the Steelers. And both times I ranted about Dick LeBeau, they've won. So I'm going to say it again that Dick LeBeau is the man. And Pittsburgh, I believe, wins this game. It makes their win streak up to 3, 17-7. And identify themselves as the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, Auger, Chris Ogdahl, shout out to him, wave the terrible towel. This week, Pittsburgh wins once again, and Dick LeBeau lives another year. Pittsburgh wins 17-7. Yes, Dick LeBeau, you're the man. Arizona against Atlanta.
Well, you got an Atlanta team who's waking up here now, too, as they now are up to 2 wins on the year now, as Matt Ryan and that offense. Little pieces missing with Julio Jones out as a wide receiver, and now you have Douglas who is stepping up for this team after an amazing game last week.
You won't be seeing this dance on the field anymore.
No, sadly not for a while. I think, is he out for the season, Julio?
I think so.
I believe he goes out for the season, so sad thing for you, Falcons fans. Sorry about that.
And Visa commercial fans.
And right now you got their defense who's getting there. They're doing pretty well this season as well. Then you have an Arizona team who, again, I feel like has an up and down days this year, as they are 3-3 right now, just trying to figure out what that team is. As Carson Palmer right now, he's been doing a lot better job than most quarterbacks have at that team, at the organization so far in a while, since probably Kurt Warner, I'd have to say. And their defense is a pretty good defense overall, but I feel like Atlanta, even without Julio Jones, has a lot of offensive power and some good defensive power as well. And I believe they're going to head to Arizona and beat them 27-13.
I also believe Atlanta wins this game, even though they're still a -5, an under 500 team. I do think Bruce Arians is the change they need in Arizona, but because it's a first-year head coach, you won't see it just yet. Carson Palmer has done a decent job. So has Rashard Mendenhall and Larry Fitzgerald. And of course, Patrick Peterson, we remember, had to sacrifice his finger for this season. Just ask the New Orleans Saints. I do think Atlanta wins this game 28-10. I just think Arizona still needs another year to identify themselves. If they win this game, then maybe I'm wrong. But I do think Atlanta wins this game. Denver against Washington.
Well, you got a Washington team who just came out of a complete high gun show of a game there. As I don't know, that was surprised me as the highest scoring game. I thought that'd been a pretty decent scoring game, that one against the Bears. But RG3,
even though I had a bad week last week, you got to give me that one. Just like I picked the St. Louis game in Houston, that's the one I picked.
That was a good one pick right there. As Washington, RG3, he's getting back to where he should be. And Roy Hula is his name? I believe that's his last name, Hula? I don't know.
What are we talking about?
Well, the running back for Washington?
Oh. Sure.
I can't remember. It's some weird last name, but he hit him with 3 touchdowns last week. That really shocked me. If Morris, I thought would be getting most of the carries, but Hule, that's what it is. Hule
Okay.
had a great game last week, 3 touchdowns, and pretty much ran that team for that offense. So great job for him and that entire offense as Gerson and all them. Great job on the offensive side of the ball and the defense.
For those who don't know, Pierre Garçon in French means stone boy. So he's
Well, that's interesting. Never
looked
knew
it
that.
up on Google.
Well, you learn something every day, I guess.
Exactly.
And then you have a Denver team who showed their weakness last week, and I believe their weakness was shown before, but their defense was not good. No, and I feel like this is a trend. If you have the best offense, your defenses is not usually that good, as they got demolished, I believe, by the Colts last week in Peyton Manning's homecoming game. Payne got showed up by a guy named Luck.
Yep.
And I don't know how happy he's going to be about that. And I'm guessing he probably is not going to be that happy at all. So I'm expecting a big game out of Peyton in this one, and Wes Walker, Decker, but the defense, I believe, is still going to struggle. But I have Denver taking this one, 31-24. And I'd say probably a late touchdown for Denver to take the win in this one.
Okay. Just like we said the past few weeks, Cole misses Wes Welker. Anyway, yes. Let's go back to 4 years ago and tell me that Peyton would lose to the Colts. And I would think you're absolutely nuts. But it happened last week. And the Colts are a team where they beat teams like that, they could very well win the Super Bowl. Colts fans are going to be happy that I said that. But anyway, clearly Denver's mad because they lost that game, and Washington is coming off a little bit of an emotional high by beating Chicago. But then they realize they're going to Denver next week. Peyton Manning identifies himself once again, and Denver wins this game 35-17. And now to the 2 night games. A battle of the NFC North. Minnesota against Green Bay.
Well, Green Bay fans, even though you're sad, you have 2 of your good wide receivers out, and I believe the tight end is now out as well.
Finley
yes. is. They said he got out of the hospital pretty good though after 24 hours after that head hit, which was very serious. I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and just what I saw on Mike and Mike in the game, it's like that scares me.
Oh yeah, anything like that always scares you, and I've seen it on the field actually when I played high school, and it's not a fun thing to be around at all.
Lee Madziar.
Yep, it's scary no matter what, but. Mm-hmm. Green Bay, without having their wide receivers, they are doing a great job on that offensive side still, because I think Aaron Rodgers is just a man. He's got that discount double check going for him all day, every day.
The discount double check.
I did that just for you, to let you know. And then you have Eddie Lacy too now, who is giving Green Bay a running game for the first time in seems like forever for them. I think the first time since Aaron Rodgers has been there, it seems like they've got a running game.
Yeah.
So that's good for him, and the defense showing that they are a tough thing as well as they head to Minnesota, who's again have another change of quarterback. I believe another change of quarterback this week, as from what I heard. I believe they said Campbell is not Campbell, but
I think it's going to be Ponder again.
I think Ponder is starting again this week. Is it named Campbell? Is it no?
It's Castle.
Castle. There he goes. Not Castle. Who was the player that started last week?
Freeman
there it is.
Last week.
Yeah, I get all the Tampa Bay quarterbacks or something. I knew they all played in Tampa Bay for some reason. But Palmer coming back as under the starting quarterback again here. Don't know what he's going to do after a couple weeks off. That is my big thing with them. As Minnesota, I'm amazed they got to win this year, to tell the truth. As I think they're not a great team at all. And they're going to probably get beat up here on Sunday night against the Packers. I'm going to say Green Bay's going to win this one. 31-14.
I have not won a Sunday or Monday night game in 3 weeks.
Must be my fault.
And I'm not happy that I haven't won a Sunday or Monday night game in 3 weeks. And it's not Cole's fault. It's just something to do with, I don't know. But this week I hope I just hope that streak ends. Please. I mean, now that Green Bay has a running game, and we know that Cheeseheads can run, Eddie Lacy is still about as big as Cole and I combined. He can still run the ball. And Aaron Rodgers, sadly, is the man, although he does have the discount double check. We upgraded to grill class. Grill class? Tongs are in your seat back. But anyway, Minnesota with Josh Freeman starting last week, who the only thing impressive about him last week is that I've seen a meme of him being there was a picture of Michael Jackson that was replaced by Josh Freeman.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
That's pretty much the only impressive thing about Josh Freeman last week. I thought Minnesota was a decent team. Maybe not so much. And this week it'll show. As Green Bay wins this game 31-21. Please, let me win this. The Monday night game. St. Louis against Seattle. The battle of the NFC West.
Well, this game is going to be an interesting one as well, I believe. Somewhat interesting. Just to see how this goes. At Seattle, Wilson, I think he's playing at his prime right now as he's been looking great. As Golden Tate and Marshawn Lynch have been carrying that offense and doing everything for them right now and just making that team look amazing.
Let's face it, Marshawn Lynch wants Skittles, and he wants them really badly.
As that team looking impressive so far this year. St. Louis now, they're going to have some issues coming in this week, I believe, though. Now you have Bradford, for the season, I think is what it is now, and I don't know who their starting quarterback is. Who is their starting quarterback this week?
To my truth, God only knows.
And that is my issue why I cannot pick St. Louis this week, because no one knows who their quarterback is, and that team is just in a humongous struggle, and I don't know what to do for them right now. As about Bradford, they are in huge trouble. And then this one, I have Seattle just pulling away with this one, 34-10.
Like I said 2 weeks ago, and you were surprised that I was right. They contracted Laurinaitis. St. Louis did. Their quarterback is out for the year. In fact, this morning, they called Brett Favre.
Yeah, I seen that, yep. They did come on.
And that would have been really awesome to see him come back, but he turned it down, and I can't blame the man. He's 44 years old, and with the hits the quarterbacks are taking now, I don't blame him. But anyway.
I don't know about that one. I think they're pretty safe on the quarterback now. You can touch the quarterback if you get a penalty on him.
But still.
Roger, you hear that?
I would still like to see Brett Favre come back, though. Because the NFL just isn't the same without Brett Favre.
Yeah,
We miss you, Brett!
You gotta miss him. Yeah,
but anyway.
Just like Walker.
Yes. But anyway, I remember 3 or 4 years ago when St. Louis played Seattle in Week 17 on Sunday Night Football for the rights to the playoff spot from the laughingstock that was the NFC West. And Seattle won it, and they were 7-9. This year, clearly not the same, as the NFC West is the power of the NFC, or maybe even the NFL. Seattle, yes, mind blown yet? Seattle, I believe, wins this game. Marshawn Lynch will get 1 handful of Skittles, possibly 2. Golden Tate will score once. And Steven Hauschka will kick a field goal and will not get rocked like he did against Tennessee. Seattle 24, St. Louis 10. And St. Louis is going to have to get over that bout with Laurinaitis. And that is our show for this week. So remember, don't contract Laurinaitis. And remember, if you're a quarterback, your favorite number is not 6. I wouldn't pick it anyway. Sorry, Matt Schaub. See you next week.